Hello viewers, welcome back to First Step, students' first preferred channel for their academics, learning, where all the topics are discussed to the point, focused and in crisp way. Today we are going to discuss about the strategic management model, the steps involved in development of strategy and how to go about it. Right from strategy development as a concept till implementation, evaluations and control. If you like this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, press bell icon so that whenever there is a new updation, you will be getting a complete new set of video. I hope you are enjoying my lessons. This will go for a lot of value additions in your everyday life. So let us come back to strategic management model, strategy planning process. There are 5 steps involved in strategic process. First is the strategic intent. First of all, you need to understand what you want to do, where you want to go, and then next step is strategic environment analysis, environment scanning, where you go for evaluation of the environment both internally and externally. I will be discussing each step in detail in my presentations, so please view this presentation incomplete. Third step here is strategic formulation, where you develop the tools, techniques for future and compete in the market. Then you go for strategy implementation. Whatever you have decided, you will go for implementation of that, and then you go for strategic evaluation and control. Now let us understand the first topic. What is strategic intent? The strategic intent appears in the form of a number of corporate opportunities and challenges specific as short-term projects. It may show a significant stretch for the company, a sense of direction which can be communicated to all the employees. It should focus on tomorrow's opportunity, not on today's problems, so that you are well equipped for the current changes in environment and you interlink the present possibilities into future performances and be successful, creating an edge over rest of the people present. It should focus on tomorrow's opportunity, not on today's problem, considering competitive factors, the factors critical to success in the future. You need to identify the critical factor for success. The strategic intent helps management to emphasize and concentrate on the priorities. You can prioritize your activities, resources and make use of them, create and devise policies so that you can get advantage in future. Strategic intent gives a picture about what an organization must get into immediately in order to use the opportunity. What you have today, how to make use of it for a better tomorrow. Strategic intent helps in influencing an organization's resource, potential and core competencies to achieve what at first may seem to be unachievable goals in the competitive environment. You should not be scared or discouraged about the changes happening in surroundings. You should be ready and equipped with the tools and the processes that you adopt so that the environment changes does not bring in any kind of impact on your performances and you create a lead in the marketplace. Second step for strategy is environmental scanning, where you go for analysis of internal environment of the firm, analysis of the micro or task environment of the firms and industry, then analysis of external macro environment, which is pest analysis, better known as political, economical, social and technological analysis. The internal analysis considerably important. It identifies the firm's strengths and weaknesses, and external analysis reveals the opportunity and threat. A profile of the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat, which is also called as SWOT analysis, is generated by this particular process. An industry analysis can be performed using a framework developed by Michael Porter known as Porter's 5 forces model, which I'll be discussing in separate presentation. I hope you will be referring that for detailed analysis. This framework of 5 forces evaluates entry barriers, suppliers, customers, substitute products and industry rivalry. This is the environmental scanning portrayal, where internal environment talk about the finance, performance measures, value chain, structure and systems, styles of management, staffing skills. The external environment analysis include pest and pest analysis, 5 forces analysis, Porter's 5 forces model, industry attractiveness, life cycle, competitor analysis and market considerations. Market considerations involves about the way the companies are forming their business, doing their business, the way they have developed the channel, the incentive performance and the parameter of the performance of successful companies in the market. Having done internal and external analysis of the business, you go for SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunity and threat analysis. SWOT analysis is very important for understanding of the company in complete. It is widely practiced across different companies at different stages, and ample number of examples of practices of SWOT analysis are available. You can make it as a case study, you can make it as a practicing wherever, whenever you are devising the tools for future competence, you will need SWOT analysis. Strength is strength for strength, which is what your organization is good at present to the situation. Weakness is what you need to improve. Opportunity is where in the current trade the market is moving. The threat is the fear of losing the business, the customer, the raw material, energy requirements, how to implement, how to use it, then the transport costs, logistics costs, and then strong competitors. All these are the environment factors to understand and devise the strategy fit. Then strategy formulations. It is the next step in the strategy, where you develop a long range plan for the effective management of environment opportunities and threat. In light of it, it includes development of missions, objectives, strategies and policy. Now mission is the purpose of or the reason of the organization to exist. It tells what the company is providing to society, either a service like housekeeping or product like automobiles. What you are there for, what you are going to do, that is what is mission. The objective are end results of the planned activities. It is clear-cut statement where you want to devise the strategies and planning. It is the end result. When you talk of mission, it is what you aspire to do. When you talk of objective, what you want to attain, what is your goal. They state what is to be accomplished by when and should be quantified if possible. Objective has to be quantified. The achievement of corporate objective should result in fulfillment of corporate's mission. So there is a linkage between what you develop as mission and what you develop as objective. The core of the planning of strategy is the strategy itself. The strategy is the complex plan for bringing the organization from a given posture to a well-dressed position in a future of period of time, where the market is changing, where the environment changes. How can you become more successful? That is what is the strategy. In fact, how you create a critical factor for success, how you create the organization more successful, bumping back in the market and be successful. That is what is the strategy. Strategy is a technical word where you go for a complete understanding of the company, the market in which you are operating, considering each parameters. Policy. Policy is a broad guideline for decision making that links the formation of a strategy which is implementation. The companies are using policies to make sure the employees throughout the firm make decisions and take actions that support the corporate mission's objective and strategy. So policies has to be as per mission, objectives and strategies of the company. So they have to be in one line. That implementation stage of the strategy, it is the process by which strategies and policies put into action through the development of programs, budgets, procedures. This might involve changes in the organization culture, structure and management system of the entire organization. There are three parts to be considered. Programs. The programs means the steps or the activities that is needed to accomplish a single use plan. To make the strategy action oriented, it may involve restructuring of the corporation, changing the company's internal culture or bringing a new research, a new effort. So this is how the strategy implementation programs are there. It is basically the plan or activity sequencing, defining and implementation. Then budget is the estimate of your expenditure in terms of dollars or INR. It is used in planning and control. A budget lists the detailed cost of each program. The budget is not only serve as the detailed plan of new strategy in action, but also subjects through pro forma financial statement and the expected impact of the firm's final future. What money is involved, how to implement it, in order to implement the plans and activities, what is the expenses required and what will be the outcome of these expenses. All these things are to be devised and advised in budget, so that you have a complete financial control of the affairs of the company. Then procedures are sometimes termed as SOPs, standard operating procedures. These are the systems of sequential steps or techniques that describe the detail of how a particular task or job is to be done. The typical detail, the various activities that may be carried out in order to complete the task. This is a critical stage of strategy where most of the companies fail. The strategy are very easy to define, studies are very easy to develop, but the majority of failure of strategy comes into strategy implementation, because what people want to do can be expressed, but when you come to implementation, the realities are different. Maybe sometimes the skill problem is there, sometimes financial problems are there, sometimes the misunderstanding is there, sometimes coercion forces work, sometimes you have conflicts of interest. So you have to understand the implementation is a most critical part, because what you wanted to do has to be implemented. So the whole game, you might have planned to win a game of cricket, but planning does not end in winning. You have to calculate, you have to plan, you have to implement what you have planned. So to understand the cricket game, how you can win, how you can win the game, you have to have the skills of implementation of the plans. So that is to be understood correctly. The evaluation of strategy means to continuously measure and evaluate progress. That changes can be made if needed to keep the overall plan on track. This is also a control phase of strategic planning process. This is also important so that whenever necessary, the corrections which are required and needed can be implemented. So this evaluation and control are hand in hand with implementations. They have to be regular activities. It may be necessary to develop systems to allow monitoring progress. It is well worth the effort. It may also be taken as the stage where performance standards should be set so that performance may be measured and leadership can make adjustments and as needed to ensure success. Evaluation and control consists of 5 steps. Define programs parameters that can be measured. Second, define target values for those parameters. Third, performance measurements. Fourth, compare measured result to the predefined standards. And fifth, make necessary changes wherever necessary. Thus, the strategy planning process comes to an end. I hope you would have understood the entire process.